What's up, you guys? My name is Hutch. I make videos, put them on the internet, and today is another episode of Ask Hutch, where you guys ask me questions on Twitter, and I answer them. It's not rocket science. You guys have seen this stuff before. Let's get right into it. Dude Kid wants to ask, do you ever wish that you had gotten into Twitch sooner? What were your immediate plans once Respawn disbanded? No, not really, just because I didn't really have a lot of time back then. It was like a 9-to-5 job, so, when you do that all day, you don't really want to come home and then think about, getting into live streaming. Plus, Twitch really didn't kind of hit their stride until I think right around the time that I was starting to leave anyways. So it's hard for me to imagine even having the time to live stream back then. Once Respawn disbanded, that was technically after I had already left. I was living in Santa Cruz and I had already started kind of doing stuff on my own. But if you're talking about what were your immediate plans once I left Respawn, I didn't have I had no idea. I had a little bit of money saved, and that was it. And I was just going to go home and figure it out. But at the time, I kind of viewed it like a health issue because I was so just unreasonably stressed out at the time, and that life in LA just wasn't for me. Brendan wants to ask if you were to have a three-way with Nanners and Sark, who would be the bitch? I vote Sark because he's seen some shit. I think Nanners would refuse, just flat out refuse, and there would be no debate. And I think that Sark probably is more likely between the two of us to step up and be the bigger man and to take that dick. Aiden wants to ask, is it gay if you give anal but not take it? Neither is gay. Josh wants to ask, what inspired you to take an interest in cooking? Was it to be healthier, or was it as an interest or a hobby? I think it was both. I'm definitely more. I wouldn't say that I have a full-on healthy diet yet, but I've been changing my diet pretty drastically over the last year. So I think I definitely am more aware of what I'm putting in my body now, and it's fun. I like the process of preparing the ingredients. I like the way it smells when I'm putting it all together. So now it's gotten to a point where I look forward to actually making the dinner almost more, I think more than actually when I'm done with the dinner, depending on how good the food is. If it's really good food, then I'm gonna prefer the food. Tom Miller says, how long did it take you to find happiness within yourself, and what keeps you going during the dark times? I think that's still a process, man. I think I'm still figuring that out, and I think it's gotten way better over the last decade, I would say. I think a big part of it just is for me was just kind of getting a little bit older. I'm not 25 anymore, and a lot of the insecurities and the fears and the naivete that I had at that time is just kind of slowly worn off, just by virtue of the fact that I'm alive and I'm out there living a life and having experiences, and those experiences shape my point of view and my perspective on things. And I think I think that's the case for a lot of people. You get older, and a lot of the stuff that holds you back doesn't hold you back in the same way, because either you've built up some kind of a internal fortitude to protect yourself from it, or you just end up becoming more resilient in the long run. I don't know. That's a tough question to answer, and I hope that you find whatever it is you're looking for. Sam Watts asks, what game or games are you most excited for at E3? I would have to go with a possible Red Dead Redemption 2 announcement, and then also the next entry in Elder Scrolls would be fantastic, man. I would love that right now. I'm also really looking forward to seeing Modern Warfare Remastered. I think they just announced today that they're going to be showing that off at E3, and I want to see more than how the game looks. I want to see how the game feels, how the game plays. I think that's going to be way more important to me than whether or not every pixel looks nice and pretty. Beast Boy, you're asking me, how do you break the monotony of making videos of some of the same games? I don't know what that question says. That's an easy one to answer. You just don't play the same games. I played a lot of Call of Duty up until a certain point, and then I just refused to only play one game, because I felt like I didn't want to be a symbiote basically with with Activision or with Call of Duty, and I don't want, you know, I don't want me and this whole thing to be tied to just one thing. And so I resolved in myself, you know, no matter what, if I saw a dip in views or anything like that, I would prioritize variety and like sanity over you know, what could possibly be like a really lucrative way to make a living if you only stuck with one thing. I just didn't want to do that. Ray wants to ask another question. Well, I didn't see your first one. What do you regret or not regret doing in high school? I think probably the biggest thing that I regret in high school was letting just losing my virginity take priority over who I lost it to and why I lost it. Like, I don't regret losing my virginity, but I kind of regret losing it to the person that I lost it to. Not because like they were hideous or anything like that, but they were just a pain. They were just, you know, kind of a pain in the ass at that time in my life. You know, I was a kid, so I imagine they're not the same person today. But back then, she was just a fucking pain in the ass, because I was getting laid, that was like I just kind of. You know, I just kind of didn't care. Not that I didn't care, I definitely cared, but I let a lot of things go that I shouldn't have because I was putting the pussy on a pedestal, man. Virtual says, only one single patch will be made to COD 4 Remaster. What single patch do you want? That one's kind of tough because there's like a lot of shitty shit about COD 4. Like a lot of fucking shitty bullshit in Call of Duty 4. But the biggest, shittiest bullshit in the game is definitely 3 times frag. There was a perk in that game that gave you 3 grenades instead of 1, and it was just the worst. And like, I guess you could also say like if I could pick one more after that, it would be to make sure that the nades aren't as powerful as they were. Like tone down the actual lethality of the nades, then I would be happy. But if I had to pick one, 3 times nades is just the worst thing that happened to that game. Mr. Blonde says, J.K. Simmons supposedly training for a role as Commissioner Gordon. How aroused are you? Well, I'm not so much aroused as I am fucking terrified. Sander says, what's your favorite still living Game of Thrones character? Oh, man. I gotta go with Jaime Lannister, man. His arc has been so, like, satisfying as a viewer. I hated him. I hated him. And then I sympathized with him, and now he's like, I think he's my favorite character. His whole arc has just been so interesting and wonderful, and god damn, that show's fucking good. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this edition of Ask Hutch. Just to let you guys know, I'm gonna be gone starting Sunday and going through the following Monday for E3 and then EDC. So live streams are not gonna be a thing while I'm gone. I'll have some scheduled uploads and stuff like that, so don't worry about that. But yeah, all you people that enjoyed the stream, I'll be back in a week. Don't shit your pants. It's going to be fine. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming by today, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.